So hi everyone. This series of videos is going to take you through the critical essay side of English and communication. So I'm going to tell you what the essays are, how they're used. I'm going to show you the process for putting them together by yourself as well, because that's a key part of the assessments of all the different courses that I'm doing with you all this year. So the first thing, I suppose, is how critical essays are going to be used in different courses. For those of you who are doing higher in National 5, the critical essay comes up in the final exam. There is a single essay that you have to write, closed book conditions, which means you don't get the poems or the stories or anything in with you. You can't take your notes in with you. It's also an essay question that you've never seen before. So you need to go in under those circumstances and be able to write a critical essay in 45 minutes, there or thereabouts, and it accounts for 20% of your overall grade. For those of you who are doing communication and literature course, that's those in the Access and SWAP courses and the NC courses, you've got to do 2 of these essays throughout the course of the year. They're open book for you, but the literature that we do will be a little bit different and the questions will be a little bit more focused on the type of course that you're all doing, which obviously, broadly speaking, focuses on the areas of social science. One of the key things here is, and you're missing one of the words there, but is that it's holistic marking for these kind of essays. So it's not like essays in other subjects where there might be 5 marks available for the introduction, in which, you know, if you do certain things or use certain phrases, you're going to get marks individually for those things. In English, the entirety of the essay is what's being marked, not specific points, so you can't approach it thinking that, well, I just need to maybe do the bare minimum in certain number of sections and that'll get me the pass mark. In order to pass a critical essay in English, you need to pass all of it. And for those doing the higher in the National 5, in order to get a very high mark in the exam, and very high marks are possible for the critical essay, but in order to do it, you need to make sure that what you're producing is something that's not just very good, not just impressive and insightful, but consistent as well. That's a big part of the issue with essay writing in English and in communication. So critical essays themselves, you probably know them. You've done these kind of things in school, done them before. A bit of extended writing, and you're responding to either maybe when you were in school more of a direct prompt, but in this case it'd be essay questions, which again people who've done the exams would recognise. So you get a specific question that asks about a particular feature or a particular aspect or focus of a text, and you write an essay in that particular context. So you've got to demonstrate your understanding, analysis and evaluation skills. Show that you can read the text and comprehend it. Show that you can analyse the way in which language is used throughout it, and show that you can evaluate the effectiveness of the text in terms of achieving whatever it is it's set out to achieve, and show that you've actually engaged with the literature as well. Critical essays aren't book reports, and they're certainly not about you regurgitating what you've seen in sets of notes, for example. And it's always very obvious when that's what students do. It's really important that you see this as something where you need to demonstrate that you individually have read the text, read the question, and actually put some thought into it. And I think the big thing, and the thing that people often don't quite grasp about critical essays, and I sort of touched on it when I said, this isn't it's not a book report. We're not really interested in you showing us that you've read all the text and understood all the events. And we're not even really completely focused on you just showing us that, here are lots and lots of techniques I can identify. There's a metaphor and there's some word choice. The actual purpose of a critical essay is to develop and convey an argument about the text. So as you'll see in the next video that looks at essay questions, the questions are going to ask you to take a particular focus. So, choose a text in which, a certain kind of event happens, or choose a text which explores a particular kind of emotion. Your job ultimately is to convince the marker, or convince me, that you understand the question, that you've picked a text that's relevant for it, and you can use the information in the text in order to prove that that is the case, to prove that this question does indeed apply to this particular poem or this particular short story. So I think the one thing, if you're going to keep just one thing in mind from all of this, keep in mind all the way through that a critical essay, not about showing that you have read the book and can explain the events, not about showing that you've read the book and understand who the characters are. Critical essays are about you engaging with a piece of literature and then developing a persuasive argument about a particular aspect of it. Okay, so a whole series of videos after this one, they'll be in the playlist, about different aspects of the essay, how to write introductions, how to select evidence, all that kind of stuff. But as usual, any questions, any problems, anything whatsoever, then either send me an email or send me a message and I will do whatever I can to help you. Cheers.